This tool is a game changer and something I wish someone had told me about so much sooner. Hey, what's up? I'm Bret Shuford, the Creative Life Coach, and if you're new here, this channel is all about supporting you and how to make money doing what you love as a creative entrepreneur. I hope you'll consider subscribing down below. I give you so many tools here that are going to help change and shift the way you think and build your business. Now, I started my business 2015, I think is when I became a certified life coach. And I, of course, just like so many of us, was learning by listening to podcasts, watching YouTube videos, learning from other people, even working with some coaches who had been in the industry for a long time. And by listening to a lot of what people said, I started using tools that they suggested. Now, a lot of these were people who were leaps and bounds ahead in their business than I was at the time. I was just starting out. I had a very small email list, a very small client base, and I was making money full-time as an actor, which doesn't say a lot, especially living in New York City. So having high expenses and trying to build a business, which we all know is necessary, right? In order to build a business, you got to spend a little money to make money. And I'm sure you've heard that before. I just didn't understand that, you don't need to spend a lot of money. You don't need to spend a lot of money. You don't need to spend a lot of expenses. You don't need to learn a whole bunch of tools in order to have the business that you want. And I just wish someone had told me that sooner. When I first started out, I had a website on WordPress, and then I hired someone to redesign that website and put it on Squarespace, which I'm not really sure why I did that because I really liked my WordPress website, but I did it. It's done. What am I going to do about it at this point? Then I had my email list on MailChimp, which is a great free service if you're trying to start an email list and build from scratch, right? Then I had an account with Lead Pages, which I would use to build landing pages so that I could, get people enrolled in courses or if I was doing a webinar. And then let's see, what other expenses did I have? Of course, I had coaching expenses. I had, by taking courses, like if you're like me, I'm always learning, and that's something I teach my clients in my CreatiVisibility program is like you should always be learning. So I was spending money on courses. I was also trying to figure out how to get people to pay. So I had scheduling software, and then I also paid for the pro level of that software, which I used Acuity Scheduling. Great system if you want to be able to schedule people and get them to pay, right? But all in all, once I totaled my expenses, I was spending really around $600 a month in all of those expenses. And not only that, but I had to understand how each of them worked. And I didn't really understand because I didn't really have time because I'm sure I do a lot of things, right? I'm coaching, I was acting, I was in a show 8 times a week. I have a husband and a family and travel a lot for content creation and work. And so it just was overwhelming. And I heard about a program or a software called Kajabi. And of course, I didn't think Kajabi was for me. I think that's for people who are more advanced. All you would hear people talk about is if you're going to teach a course, use Kajabi. Well, I wasn't ready to build a course. I didn't have time to record and write and schedule and do all of those things. So Kajabi I somehow wrote it off like it was not a tool for me. Until I heard a coach that I really respect say, if I was starting my business now, I would start using Kajabi. And that's something I needed to hear because it got me to look into this software program. Kajabi was, at the time, I think only offering a 14-day free trial. So if you're somebody who's curious about Kajabi, if you use my link that is in the show notes or the description down below, you'll get a 30-day free trial. So there's no risk. You can try it for 30 days and see what you think. And I promise you, if you're somebody who's just starting out, who doesn't have a big list, even if you don't think you're going to teach courses, if you're going to sell any sort of digital product, or you might want to have the option to teach courses down the line, this is the best software program, I promise you. Because when I moved everything over to Kajabi eventually, I got my website completely moved over. I host it all on Kajabi, which some really advanced people suggest not to do only because you can't copy the website and move it to someplace else. I don't see that happening for me. And if I do see that happening for me, I'll pay, I'll have enough money to pay somebody to make a new version. I like having everything all in one place. I believe that in order to be successful as a creative, especially if you want to create multiple streams of income, the simpler the better. You got to simplify. And Kajabi allows us to do that. Kajabi is an all-in-one platform. It is a place where you can build courses, you can do coaching programs, you can host podcasts, memberships, blog. There is so much more you can do there. And now I eliminated my website. I eliminated my email list. I put it all onto Kajabi. I got rid of lead pages. And what was spending expense-wise just on digital software tools, I was spending about $600 a month. It's now $140 a month for me. It cut my expenses down so much that I felt less pressure to try to get new clients, to try to build a business that I loved, right? So I want to actually, if you're listening to this on the podcast, I suggest that you go to my YouTube channel when you're not driving, and I'm going to give you a little bit of a tour. I'm going to do my best to describe what I'm doing so that you can hear it on the podcast. But I want you to see just what I mean by how useful Kajabi is and how easy it is for anybody, no matter what level you're at, okay? I don't want a bunch of fancy bells and whistles. I think eventually I'll probably get there in my business where everything's automated and there's triggers and all of those things, and you can do a lot of that in Kajabi. And that's one of the things I really, really love about Kajabi, is that their community is incredible. It's so easy. You don't need any coding experience. They have a community of people that on a Facebook group, but also within their Kajabi University that teaches you anything and everything you need to know in such a detailed way. I have never really felt the need to hire somebody to help me get my Kajabi going, right? I do have a graphic designer that helped clean up what I started, but I did it myself for the most part, okay? You can create beautiful, professional looking websites without having to hire a designer. And if you go into, I'm going to share my screen here currently so you can see, but if you go into Kajabi's backend, I'm just showing you in the partner dashboard, they section it off with like a menu on the left side where you can build out different parts of your business. So you'll see there's a website button, there's a products button. So this would be digital products, courses, memberships, anything like that. Sales, this is where they record all your sales. So you can have people purchase directly in your website your coaching, whether they're individual coaching sessions or group coaching sessions. They can purchase your products if you're doing digital products like downloads or courses or mini courses or anything like that. Then there's marketing. This is where you can actually do your email marketing. You can upload your whole list. You can create forms that are offered, if you've taken the CreatiVisibility course, like you can create your freebies and you can have this all set up in Kajabi so that it's so easy. You don't have to think about it. It's just totally automated. You build your list. Then there's another category for people. So this is where you'll see all the people that work. And honestly, you can kind of track the progress of people. If they're on your email list and they become a customer, you can go in there and see what have they purchased in the past, what email lists are they subscribed to, what downloads do they have. You can kind of manage your audience that way. You can also segment and clean your list that way. And then analytics. Now, we'll start with analytics because I think analytics are something most people don't really feel like they have to look at yet because maybe they haven't built a business. But analytics are so important because they tell you what's working, what's not working. And for me, what I like to look at in my analytics, and let's see, I'm going to actually go to my page and show you my analytics so you can kind of see here, it's going to tell you your revenue, right? It's going to tell you who's purchased. But then what I love is you can see opt-ins. So I can see where people are clicking the most, what freebies are working the most. How do I get those freebies to, like clearly people like the influencer map and want to post, right? So I can take that information and say, I need to promote that more. People are clicking, people are liking it. And I can also see like who then is dropping off. I can also see who's subscribing to my email list. Because your email list, if you don't know this, if you've not worked with me, is probably the most important currency in your business. And so you can also see people who subscribe to your membership if you have one, right? So analytics are super important. Now, let's go to people. This is where, again, you can look and see who's on your list. I can kind of check in and see like what assessments, right? I can create assessments here where people fill them out, and I can look at the analytics and the answers of that. So that's something I think is super important. Quizzing your audience, asking them questions, getting information from them, because they'll always tell you where to go next. And you can do all of that within Kajabi. You don't need Typeform or Google Forms. You can actually do it within the website itself. Marketing, right? Super important to be able to do your email list, right? So here's where I can create sequences. If you're on my email list, you've probably seen you can get on my evergreen email, which is every week I send out an email, and this is an evergreen email list. I can trigger it by different things. I have all these different sequences that I sent out depending on how you found me. My 14-day creative mindset reset is something that it's a free download, and you can see here I've created a sequence, and it's triggered whenever someone opens that. They're going to get sent these 14-day emails. And then from there, they'll be subscribed to this email list. And it's so easy to just go in here and say, okay, which email list do I want to subscribe them to? Boom, done. Cool. So marketing, sales, of course, I'm going to try to blur out some of these numbers so you don't see them. But what's really cool is you can actually go ahead and create your programs and your offers. You can create coupons. So if you want to give out coupons for free, there's people who you want to be able to, maybe you're speaking at an event and you want to offer a discount. What's really cool too is you can offer people affiliates to sign up, and they can actually earn a commission for referring your program, right? So lastly, you'll see here your products. This is all of the products I offer. So I have my course, my membership, my community, all different types of products. But what's really cool in Kajabi is everything's templated. So I don't have to start from scratch. They have all of these different options to help you build that out. You can also host your podcasts here, which I do. My CreatiVisibility Podcast is hosted on Kajabi. I upload it here, and it actually automatically through the RSS feed link will then send it out to Apple, will send it out to Spotify. So you can see here in the analytics of my podcast where people are actually listening the most. Now, this podcast is brand new, and I only really promote it to my audience. So it's not a huge download, but it's an amazing amount of engagement. And I'm super excited to continue to grow this. So you'll see here, number one, top 10 episodes. I can see what's doing great here, Michelle Bruckner. So I can see which ones are performing best. And I can take that information and say, let's say, okay, clearly my audience likes this. Let's build this out more. And then lastly, another product I offer, of course, is my coaching. So I can actually host my clients and keep track of their notes and everything within the coaching product here. And then the top level here of it's the website. Again, so easy because they have templates or what they call themes, right? I can go click on themes and I can choose a theme that works for my brand, right? So they're constantly updating. Kajabi is kind of amazing at how quickly they listen to their audience and constantly update what it is that they're offering. And so a lot of these templates are new from listening to their audience over the last few years, and they're completely customizable. So once I've, say, picked a theme, I can go in here and there's the basic streamlined pages where I can sort of manage those things. I can rename the theme, blah, blah, blah. But then I can actually go down here to pages, and this is where I can create lead pages or additional pages, landing pages for my website. What's really, really cool for anyone who's sort of new at building out things, they have something called pipelines, which are templated email sequences, right? So if I want to have a sales page, a confirmation page, a registration page, I can just click on new pipeline and I can say, okay, am I doing a freebie? Am I doing a free book? Right? These are all based on Brendan Burchard, who helped build a lot of these things out for them. I love Brendan Burchard. He's a great teacher, a bit overwhelming at times. I think that's on purpose to get you to buy his stuff. But these really are great templates if you're just starting out. Like there's a coaching campaign and they give you a video tutorial on how to use that pipeline. And once that pipeline is built, it can flow. You can share that, right? And I love that about what they offer here. So it goes even further. You can do blogging. You can, if you're doing video, you can upload your video to a blog post, and then that lives on your website. And let's just take a look at my website so you can see this is all done on Kajabi. I even have this pop up to join my email list, done on Kajabi. As you scroll down, you'll see that there's a bunch of other options here. These are really, I'm telling you right now, this has been a game changer. If you haven't been to my website, I've got my podcast listed there.
Hi, welcome to my resources.
I've got a free resources page for you. So there's lots of free tools for you if you're trying to build, including the link here to try out Kajabi for 30 days and test it out. I'm telling you, if you're somebody who, regardless of where you're at in your business, who plans on building out a business that offers coaching, whether it's performance coaching or whether you're even selling products, Kajabi can be the best place for you to grow and spend a little less money, because those expenses, you want to keep expenses down to increase your profit margin, right? And I mean this when I tell you all of this. This has changed my life. So I want you to, if you haven't checked it out, just to play around with Kajabi, go click on the link in the show notes here below and try it out for 30 days. See if you like it. If you're somebody who's like been trying to spin your wheels doing so many things, I promise this will simplify everything. I've not had a single client who's used Kajabi that has been disappointed in what it has to offer, because I think this is the perfect platform for us, for creatives. Now, is it the perfect platform for every entrepreneur? Maybe not. Like maybe you're much more advanced in your entrepreneurship. Maybe you have 7 people on your team. Maybe you have somebody completely dedicated to website building. If that's true and you have like a staff, like they're going to be much more happy with something like WordPress, much more customizable, much more, they have more control over what they can do on that platform. But if you're a solopreneur, like if you're manning the ship by yourself, maybe with 1 or 2 people on your team, I promise you will not be disappointed in checking out Kajabi. These are all the reasons why I love it. Hopefully you've gotten a lot out of listening to this. Try it before you buy it. It's constantly being updated, constantly being improved upon. And for anyone in my community, reach out to me. Let me know what you love about Kajabi. I'd love to know in the comments, even down below, if there's another platform that you think is just as good, if not better. I know people have talked about other platforms like Podia, but for me, Kajabi, because of their customer service and the care that they put into their product, it takes the cake. So I hope you found this really, really helpful, this quick little tip to help you build your business. I'm super excited to have you here, and I'll talk to you in the next episode.